So in this video, let's see about modulation and difference between DSBSC and SSB modulation. So what is modulation? Modulation is simply a widely used process in communication systems in which a very high frequency carrier wave is used to transmit the low frequency message signal, so that transmitted signal continues to have all the information contained in the original message form. So what is SSB modulation? Single side band modulation is an efficient form of amplitude modulation AM that uses half of the bandwidth used by AM. This technique is most popular in applications such as telephony, HAM radio and HF communication. In such that voice-based communication, in radio communication, single band modulation or single sideband suppressed carrier modulation. It is a type of modulation used to transmit information such as audio signal by radio waves. A refinement of amplitude modulation. It uses transmitter power and bandwidth with more efficiently. Maximum amplitude modulation produces an output signal, the bandwidth of which is twice the maximum frequency of the original baseband signal. Single side band modulation avoids this bandwidth increases and the power wasted on a carrier at the cost of increased device complexity and more difficult tuning at the receiver. Producing this single side band signal can be done at high level in the final amplifier stages as AM, but it is usually produced at a low power level and linearly amplified. The lower efficiency of linear amplification partially offsets the power advantage gained by eliminating the carrier of one side band. Next. DSBSC modulation. If this carrier is suppressed and the saved power is disturbed to the two-side bandwidth, then such a process is called double-side band suppressed carrier system or simply DSBSC. If the carrier is suppressed and the saved power is disturbed to the two-side bands, then such a process is called a double-side banded suppressed carrier system or simply DSBSC. DSBSC is a special case of double-side band reduced carrier transmission. It is used for radio data system. This is a mode is frequently used in amateur radio voice communication, especially on high frequency bands. The carrier does not contain any information and its transmission results in loss of power. Such, thus, the only sidebands are transmitted that contains information. This results in saving of power used in transmission. This saved power can be inserted into two sidebands, hence ensure a stronger signal that transmits over long distances. As during suppression, the baseband signal does not get any affected in any way. As we know, the transmission power and bandwidth are the two important parameters in communication system. Thus, in order to save power and bandwidth, DSBSC modulation technique is adopted. The difference between DSBSC, SSB and VSB modulation. So the power is less in SSB modulation, high in DSB modulation and medium in VSB. Bandwidth is FM, 2 FM in DSDB and FM between 2 and 2 FM. The carrier suppression is complete in SSB, complete in DSB and no carrier suppression in VSB. And side band suppression is one side band completely in SSB, no side band suppression in DSB and one side suppressed partially in VSB. Another important use of modern modulation technique is to carry out frequency division multiplexing, which is also known as FDM, for simultaneous transfer of several signals over different frequencies in either directions using modulation with different frequencies across the same channel. Another use of modulation in current times is its application in music. Modern musical instruments often uses synthesizers to generate and modify signals over different frequencies, superimpose them or demodulate such that differentiate these frequencies to create a real effect that may people enjoy. Modern modulator devices or modems, short for modulator and demodulator, perform a variety of functions, some of which include grouping various signals with a similar frequencies to transmit them over a similar bandwidth. Amplification of bass requires bass frequencies to improve the quality of transmission, convert digital signal to analog and vice versa. Thus, in this discussion, we briefly overviewed the concept of modulation of signals, studied various commonly used types of modulation. We have studied the applications of modulation and the results obtained by using it. We have also seen the scope and variation of application of modulation in daily life in large numbers. Thank you for watching this video.